Hi, how's it going everyone? My name is Henk and welcome back to the channel. Now today I want to talk to you about the secrets of forecasting. Now I want to give you some insights on how to predict stock prices. But before that, I want you to solve this little riddle designed to test your forecasting skills to see how good of a forecaster you really are. So here's the question. Now imagine a number guessing game where players have to pick a number between 0 and 100. Now the person with the guess closest to 2/3 of the average of everyone's guesses will win a grand prize. Now it sounds a little bit complicated, but bear with me here. For example, we're picking a number between 0 and 100. So if everyone else picks 66, which is around 2/3 of 100, the rough average of everyone's guesses would be 66. And if your guess is 44, you would win the grand prize because your guess is 2/3 of the average of everyone else's guess. So what you're trying to do here is to predict what the average of everyone else's guess is and then multiply that by 2/3 to come up with your guess in order to win the prize. So I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video, and if you want to work it out yourself before I go through the answers. Okay, time's up. So what should you do if you want to win the grand prize? So you can start by thinking that if everyone just guessed randomly between 0 and 100, the average of all the guesses should be around 50, which means that your guess should be 2/3 of 50, which is around 33. Okay, cool. That's such an easy question. The answer is 33. But wait, the others also have this information, and they could think the same way as you and come up with the same exact answer. So realistically, they would pick 33 as their answer as well, which means that you should pick 2/3 of 33, which is 22. And that's it, right? You've beaten the game, you've outsmarted everyone. But wait again. The other players can also do the same type of logical thinking and come up with 22. So you should pick 2/3 of that, which in fact is around 15. But hang on a second, people can think of that as well. So what's going to happen is because everyone is aware of everyone else, the number will keep on shrinking until it eventually reaches 0. Now surely that is the final answer because the logic makes perfect sense. But guess what? The answer is wrong. The puzzle was mentioned in the book Super Forecasting, and the riddle was an actual contest run in 1997. Now many people in that contest did actually work all the way to the answer of 0, but that was not the winning answer. In fact, the final average was nowhere near 0. The average of all the guesses of all the players was 18.91. So the actual winning guess was around 13. So what actually happened there? The logic itself was completely flawless, but this is exactly the problem with trying to predict other people's behavior purely on logic. Now, not everyone is completely logical and can come up with the final answer of 0. In fact, many people stop at the first step and assume that the average would be 50. So they gave the answer of 33. And many went one step further and came up with 22, but then they just stopped there and didn't carry on. Therefore, in order to come up with the winning guess, you have to consider both the logical answer, but also the psychological answer that players come up with. I hope some of you might have an idea of where I'm going with all of this when it comes to forecasting stocks. According to the popular efficient market theory, everything that there is to be known about a company is already priced in. The growth of the company priced in. The sales next quarter priced in. Scandals priced in. Recessions priced in. Everything is in fact priced in. But this is exactly why the analysts are pretty much always wrong. See, they may come up with the best analysis method using fancy calculations such as discounted cash flow, using all the data and figures and other insider knowledge to come up with this completely logical result of what the price of the company should be. But what they cannot do is account for a bunch of retail traders simply do not want to follow the supposedly logical rules. Now, this is why you have the GameStop situation. And while you supposedly have memes, cryptocurrencies such as Dogecoin going to the moon. What you really have to do here, if you want to be good at forecasting, is to be able to take multiple perspectives when trying to make a forecast, and not simply just rely on what is considered as logical. This is why I always say that you should never blindly follow analysts' target prices, because quite often they only account for a certain perspective. Now, their price target may very well be extremely accurate, but they may not have considered the human psychology perspective. If you look at a stock like Tesla, by every single financial metric under the sun, the stock is considered as overpriced. But by the human psychology metric, it is not overpriced. Therefore, there's no point for a perfectly logical analyst to say, oh, Tesla is completely overpriced. There's no point in buying that. The fact is that humans, especially non-logical, irrational humans, definitely do exist. And they're also part of the market. And they should be taken into account when you're trying to decide if you should invest in a company or not. For people that don't live and die by fundamental analysis, Tesla could potentially be a great investment. So what should you actually look for when you want to make a forecast? Now, you can start with what analysts suggest the price target of a company is, or do your own price calculation using data that's readily available these days. And then what you want to do is to incorporate human factors such as how popular a company is, or what the general perspective around the company is. Do the company have a charismatic leader? Do people think positively or negatively of the company? These factors can greatly influence the price of a particular company. If you are so inclined, you can add in additional factors that give you a third or even fourth perspective. Now, by this time, you should have a rough idea of whether or not the company is actually worth investing in. Now, if you can't be bothered doing all that, which I certainly can't blame you because neither can I, in this situation, you can just buy a total stock market index fund, which historically has been proven to be the only way that anyone ever makes money in the stock market over the long term. Or you can just YOLO on some random meme stock on Wall Street Bet, which is 100% more fun, but guarantee you to lose pretty much everything. Look, I hope this video has given you some different perspective on how to forecast stocks, and if it has, I hope you will leave a sub and a like on the video, and be sure to check out some of my more logical videos.